you bought into the stock, tell us what level you bought and how long you would like to hold it. That is, if it's a short-term view or a long-term view that you are seeking. Our experts today are Kunal Bothra as well as G. Chokalingam. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for taking the time. Happy Friday to you. Though it's not a very happy Friday for the equity markets here in India, we'll still seek to address as many questions as possible. The first question that's coming in is for you, Mr. Chokalingam. It relates to the merger or the proposed merger of HDFC and HDFC Bank. We have a viewer, Vishwanathan, who's asking about whether if he has less than 25 shares, then will he still get allocation or will he get a monetary compensation? And what should he do in terms of holding on to the shares of HDFC and HDFC Bank? I think you're
on his first question. It is too early to talk about the compensation or merger because it's not yet announced. On second question, he can continue to hold it. I am quite optimistic on this merger, delivering better results for the shareholder. It makes a lot of sense and more diversified, bigger in size. And the valuation are also now highly comfortable and impressive for HDFC Bank. So therefore, he should hold on to the share.
Kunal, good morning, and the next one is coming in for you. We have a query from Ajay, who is holding InfoEdge at around 4,450, and he's saying that they've slammed the support levels he was looking at. So should they continue to hold or exit it? They have a one-year view time period, holding period time.
Yeah, I think the recent sell-off for InfoEdge or Naukri has been quite sharp. Last, I think 4 or 5 days, the stock has shed, I think around 25% odd. As compared to what it has done over the last 6 months as well. The stock has gone through a very sharp correction. My sense is that I think you could probably wait for some sort of a pullback into these kind of stocks, but I think exiting would be a good decision. But since you've bought at I would say very near about kind of levels, you can wait for maybe 3,900 to 4,000, 4,050 as a good level for you to try and exit, and then look at for some other large cap quality stocks.
The next question is from Tina, and she's asking about Persistent Systems, and she's asking Mr. Chokalingam, based on the earnings, is it overpriced at this juncture? Is this a good price to accumulate the stock? And how long would you recommend that she should consider holding this?
I firmly believe that Persistent System is overpriced in terms of valuation. Yes, it's a great company, but the valuations are not great for the investors. So if there is any small recovery also, she should sell and consider stocks like Cyient or Gensar, which are extremely attractive in terms of valuation as compared to Persistent System.
Kunal, the next one is on HDFC Bank, and KVP wants to know whether they should be buying it at current levels, and they want a holding period is around 1 year. So is it a buy coming in for HDFC Bank?
So Vinny, risk reward wise, I think it's very attractive because at 1,300 approximately, HDFC Bank is now very similar to the at price levels where it was in Feb 2022, as well as very similar levels when the stock was, I think, in October, November 2020. So I think in that sense, for the last 2 years approximately, the stock has literally done nothing in terms of price levels. So price wise, very attractive. But then the question is that these are the kind of stocks which would now require a lot of institutional based buying for these stocks to get into a strong demand zone. Whether that would happen today, tomorrow, maybe over the next 1 month or 1 quarter, that's a bit of a question mark. So price wise, very attractive, but the only concern would be timing wise.
IRCTC is a stock that we're talking about. Kunal, this one's for you, and we've got a question coming in from Shruti Panikar, and she's asking about whether it can be bought for the near term. Do you think that there are opportunities?
So price-wise, again, the stock has corrected 20%. I think in the last 1 month from 840 levels, the stock is at 700 or just about shade below 700 mark. So price-wise, very attractive. And if you're looking for a bounce, then you can expect some sort of a bounce maybe till 725, 730 as a nominal bounce for IRCTC.
Mr. Chokalingam, coming to you, we have a view. Vishal wants to know on Prince Pipes. He's holding 50 shares at an average price of around 679 rupees per share. Long-term view, what is the view coming in on that? Should they continue to hold it, their current, or add more of Prince Pipes?
See, these piping companies had a very good, run. And if you look at the P ratio on current year earning, it's already trading above 30 P. And let us not forget the fact that the material prices of making pipes have gone up substantially. So therefore, the current price itself is a very fair in terms of valuation. So I would suggest that from the current level, if it recovers even 5-10%, we should exit the stock.
Lincoln Pharma, Yugandhar from Hyderabad is asking about this, and he's bought at levels of 356, Kunal. He's saying that he's losing ground. Should he average at this juncture or should he sell and book losses?
Sense that exiting the stock would be a good decision. It's been a relatively good performer from the 2020 lows. The stock was at I think 120 odd levels, and from there it's gradually moved towards 360. Right now, of course, from 360 the stock has corrected towards 318, 319 where it's currently trading. But I would believe that probably the stock is getting into a time-wise correction. Would not suggest an averaging at current levels, but assuming if the stock corrects further, say comes back to maybe 280, 285, that could be a good level where you can look to average. But I would recommend a hold till then.
Okay, Mr. Chokalingam, we have the next query coming in on the fertilizer space. Overall, fertilizer stocks, how are they looking? Would that be an attractive to enter any of the stocks specifically? If you have any suggestion, this is a query coming in from Srinivasan from Chennai.
I would not advise investing in fertilizer stocks now. As we have seen, the input prices have gone up. In fact, recent global media indicate that there may be further rally in the fertilizer input prices. Unfortunately, we depend heavily on import of inputs. And secondly, whenever subsidy bill goes up substantially, there is always a problem of getting the subsidy payment on time from the government because of the fiscal pressures. So considering all this, I would say that one should avoid investing. If one is holding on any further recovery, one should exit fertilizer stocks.
We've got a question coming in from Hyderabad again. We've got a lot of viewers tuning in from Hyderabad today. Bharat is asking about Cupid, which he bought at levels of 343. He says, Kunal, that he is a long-term investor, but he's still looking for a technical view at this juncture. I guess he's contemplating adding more to his position.
To avoid adding the stock, especially at current levels, I think it's down some 18-19% today. More importantly, this is the first correction which you're seeing into the stock price. I think in a period of 3 or 4 months for itself. So there could be more correction in line for the stock over the very near term. And I think as it is the market construct right now, could probably indicate that it's better and more prudent to try and look out for more defensive based large cap buyings. So I think in that sense, it's much better that you don't invest too much into these stocks, be heavily invested into these names and look out for more quality stocks, large cap front.
Kunal, I had asked you about a stock that sounded like Link Pharma, perhaps. The stock's name is Lincoln Pharma, like the American president. It's currently trading at 318.9, and we've got Yugandhar who's asking that, he's bought at levels of 356. If you can provide him with a technical view.
So I think I give the view on Lincoln Pharma itself, that it's better to average the stock maybe at 285 to 275 kind of a zone, because that's where longer term supports arise for the stock price. So it's at 318 or 319 levels currently. I would suggest that if you're looking to average, wait out for at least 275 to 85 range. That's where you can look to average further.
Mr. Chokalingam, I'm going to come to you. We have a query coming in from Vivek, who is tuning in from Dubai. He's saying that he's holding 1,000 shares of Just Dial at 925. Now, he's been holding it for a year. Should they continue to hold for a couple of years more, or should they exit and move out of the stock?
At current price, he can hold on to it because now, Mamar is right, Reliance has taken a stake in this. Stock also corrected a lot, and still the company is holding on to substantial cash. So considering all these facts, I suggest that he can hold on. If it falls below his acquisition cost, he can even accumulate and reduce his average cost.
Chokalingam, the view on Kansai Nerolac is being sought. It was bought by Praveen at a level of 626 for the long term, which he's defined as 2 to 3 years. But I think the counter and the sector as a whole has been under pressure on account of the crude oil prices, overhang of input costs. Would you suggest that he can average at this price? It's fallen quite dramatically.
To me?
Yes, yes.
Sorry. I would not advise him to average it because this is one peculiar industry which is getting impacted on both input side and output side. So you are rightly mentioned about pain coming from input side, that is oil price. On output side also, the user indices are largely construction and automobile is going through tough time because of input inflation. And construction also likely to go through tough time because of rise in the prices of cement and steel. And therefore, I would suggest not to accumulate the paint stock in the short term.
The next query is on Rajesh Exports, Kunal. Tushar is holding it at 675 rupees per share. What should be done with this? Should they continue to hold or exit? And they have a 1-year holding period.
Suggest to hold, may not look at an exit at current levels. I think if you're looking to exit, a better price could be around the 630, 635 mark on a short-term basis. Longer term wise, the stock has good support at those 500 levels. 500, 525 has been 2 points where the stock has taken good supports and managed to bounce back on a longer term basis. So if you're looking to average, you can look at maybe a 525 as a good level where you can start averaging out. But for exiting, I believe wait out for some sort of rally to come by.
And then we'll go to the rapid fire segment. We've got a question coming from Giri. I'm pretty sure that Kunal does not have enough data on Adani Wilmar at this juncture. So I'm going to take it to you, Mr. Chokalingam. If he's bought at levels of 790 and he's looking at a not too long-term time frame, he's actually saying short-term. Should he hold on or should he exit? I think you're on mute.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
He should exit the stock because absolutely there is no fundamental conviction at the current prices. Therefore, whenever you get a chance, he should exit Adani Wilmar.
Okay, and let's start our rapid fire segment then. And quickly coming to you, only first, Mr. Chokalingam. Girish, who has bought Alok Industries at 24 rupees per share, should they hold with a long-term view?
He should book profit because of the problems of the industry.
Okay, Mr. Chokalingam, Andhra Sugar wants to know, or rather Kunal, Andhra Sugar for a long period, 2 years. Would you still buy it at this juncture?
I think I would wait for a correction. 200 DMA is at 132. That could be a better level to buy.
Okay, the next one is from KR Balan, and Mr. Chokalingam, he wants to know about the real estate space. He's holding shares like Godrej Property or DLF. So should you be sticking to the sector or switching out of the sector as of now?
Even now, you should sell Godrej Properties. DLF he can hold on, and he can shift from Godrej to Oberoi Realty for short to medium term. Otherwise, Nesco for the long term.
Elecon Engineering is the name of the counter. Kunal, this one's for you, ELECON at the current market price. Aarti wants to know whether it can be bought.
Well, I think it's at exactly the 200 moving average. The last 2 years have been quite good for the stock. Yes, you can look to buy at current level.
Kunal, next one is for you coming in as well. Tata Consumers. We have Sapna who is holding the 100 shares at 428. What should they be doing with it? Continue to hold, sell?
I think at 428, if you bought, then you are sitting on a good profit over here. I would suggest to hold on.
Mr. Krishnan from Trivandrum is asking about Dr. Reddy's. Is this a good time to enter, Kunal, for the long term?
Well, yes, I think large cap pharma name, attractive. Stock has already gone through a 30% correction. Good price where you can look to buy.
Mr. Chokalingam, we have Gautam who's asking about L&T Technology Services. He's bought 40 shares at 4845. Long-term view coming in. Should they continue to hold, buy the dip? What is the suggestion?
He can hold on for long term, and if it dips also slowly, he can accumulate.
Mr. Chokalingam, L&T Infotech and Mindtree, would you suggest that you can actually, Shravan is wondering about the merger. What should he do with these two stocks? He's planning to hold for 3 to 4 years.
He can hold on. As I mentioned, after post-merger, it will be able to sustain the valuation multiple.
Okay, and that was surely the last query that we are taking in for today. But, we will be taking more queries on Monday, so tune in that time. But thank you so much, Kunal. Mr. Chokalingam, for joining in with us, giving us your expert views as always. But with that, we'll slip into a very short break. Stay tuned in. We'll be back with more on the other side.
Ebix Cash, हर खुशी के लिए